our giant school system is set up for numbers, right? We have raw goods and we've got to mold them into something that we can use coming out the back of it. And I did okay in that system. I certainly didn't thrive. I was a gregarious, excited person that was basically told, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. And I hear what you're doing. And I think if you're legitimate, like actually focusing on getting curriculum or getting these books read and staying on top of them, why isn't this way more popular?
Well, I think there's a few hurdles. The first one would be perception, what we might call in our previous worlds a marketing challenge. Maria Montessori, before she died, which was shortly after World War II, had when she passed away, she never trademarked the Montessori approach or the Montessori name. So there's no guarantee that when you go into a Montessori school around the world, you're seeing our approach.
I mean, I've heard everybody say that everyone is different.
Yeah.
Everyone is different. I've heard that.
Yeah, and I've heard stories ranging from sort of military rigidity in the classroom and calling that Montessori. It's like whistles and bells and standing at attention and everything short of a uniform and a bayonet to, okay, do what you want. We'll be over here, and everything in between. What my mentors in my current role, we call them the Melissas, the two women who founded our school are both named Melissa. And they were trained by a woman who actually studied under Maria Montessori 65 years ago before she died. And so there's a strain of thought and an agency that accredits schools called Association Montessori International, AMI. And AMI schools all do kind of what we're doing, which is we are dedicated to simultaneously a culture of work and a culture of knowledge. And that's the two-prong approach that we take. That the student who is engaged in work that they find meaningful is the student that's most likely to thrive and succeed and be able to like define the terms of their success in their way. Not a school board hands the curriculum to a teacher who does this and then is rubber stamped by an accreditation. And then you, like you said, use the industrial analogy. Just get them out the door because we got the numbers to deal with. So
Man, I really struggled in high school. Like the more I'm hearing you describe this, I remember hating so badly when people would be like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Because I could describe like, these are things that I like, but really what they wanted is, are you going to go do PR? Are you going to do advertising? Or are you going to do...
I'd much rather have a student tell me what they like. And then I can like satisfy your needs by showing you amazing things that can, like, I don't want to know what the data we have says what, like less than 10% of people say they know what they want and actually pursue it. The other 90% are like trying this and then, no, okay, I want to try something else and no. And so I think what we're trying to do is meet students like you and prepare them with some sort of fundamental knowledge, but more importantly, like a little awareness of themselves, what they like, what they dislike.
If you can make a kid conscious that you can make decisions and that there are actually no rules, you just have to figure out how to get along with your fellow human beings and stand upright, like be able to do your deadlifts. And that's, if you can do that, then fit in however you want. Thank God when I was in college, right before I graduated, we had a family friend named Brother Leo Ryan, and he was the dean of the business school at DePaul, and he came up and he met with me. He said, Vance, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I gave him a whole bunch of bullshit answers like, I don't know, I was thinking about being a fireman next week. And he like didn't pretend laugh. He was like, what is it that you really want? What is it that you care about? And I was like, Brother Leo, I don't know what I want to do. I know all I want to do is travel. And he goes, okay, there you go. Find a job that allows you to travel. Don't go get a job so that you can travel 2 weeks out of the year. Go do that thing that you're drawn to do and figure out how to get somebody to pay you to do it. Now, I knew nobody was going to pay me to go to the Singapore office for their PR firm. So I became a deckhand, and it was the best decision I could have made. But no one ever tells people you don't have to follow the regular path.
Oh, yeah. In fact, everybody, to the contrary, is telling people you have to follow the regular path. When we start asking kids in like middle school, what do you want to be when you grow up? Right? Yeah, I think it's a travesty for sure. Back to your question about what are the hurdles?
Yeah.
Right. The first hurdle is impression, right? Or perception. The idea that you're thinking it's one thing when in fact it isn't. The second hurdle is, in most situations, it's private. And so there is a cost barrier for sure. There are examples of Montessori influenced public schools, but they're rare. And it's very difficult to scale up to like the district level or certainly beyond that.
It's difficult to stomach paying property taxes in one place and then send your kid to a private school somewhere else.
For sure.
And particularly if you live in a neighborhood where you're like, hey, we pay probably more in property taxes because we have this good school system and it makes it competitive.
Yeah.
But I like what you're doing. How do you see these growing? Is what you're doing going to be around in larger quantities in the future? Or are you guys?
Well, that's certainly the goal. Our school started as an independent entity called Montessori Adolescent Program, MAP School. And it started 3.5 years ago. So our current crop of 10th graders all started, 9 of them as 7th graders. The next year there were 15 students. No, it went 7, 9, 18, 31. It's our 4th year. So they had 7 students the first year, 9 the second year. And last year, the board of directors went to ATI, the Academy of Thought and Industry, which is this nationwide network that we're now part of, and said, hey, we have this going. We think we align value-wise with what you're doing. Are you interested in partnering? And so we joined with them. I don't want to speak for the founders of the school, but as I understand their intent, it was to do exactly that, to continue keeping what we have amazing and special, but make it available to as many people as possible.